We're gonna give folks a second to come on in. I start a little bit early, and I would play a song, but I don't want to get the video blocked. But I want to read these lyrics. My goodness, my goodness. Hold on one second. Here we go. Let me get this right. Let me read these lyrics, and I'll play me a jam, and then we'll get started with any questions. Any questions that you have in regards to my interview discussion with Taharka Bey on the Supreme Grand Council, questions about my video in regards to Taj Tarik Bey. Um, yeah, all that. We here. We are here. We outside. Well, I'm inside, but you feel what I'm saying. Where is the lyrics, right? Oh, now it's illegal for someone to walk in greatness. They want the same, but they don't take risks. Now the world will get to see its own reflection, and the anointed can pursue their own direction. And if you're wrong and you're too proud to hear correction, whew, let me read. And if you're wrong and you're too proud to hear correction, walk into the hole you dug yourself. A projection. Mm, Miss Lauren Hill. Nobody. Nas. King's Disease 2. You need to listen to that song. Please listen closely to Miss Lauren Hill's verse. Oh my goodness, filled with so much wisdom. See me in my freedom, taking all my land back. They say a lot against me, thinking I just stand back. I got my legs beneath me. I got my hands back. A lot of people sabotage. They couldn't stand that. I turned the other cheek, took blow after blow. So much crisis in the world because you reap what you sow. Mm. I'm in the secret place. I keep a sacred space. They keep showing their hands, but keep hiding their. Come on, man. Lord Hill dropped too many. Let me play a little jam. I can't. Now this jammy jam ain't nothing on that Nas and Lauren Hill. You know what I mean? Let me just be clear about that. Let me be clear about that one. You feel me? We do not want to get it twisted. No, sir. No, sir. We're gonna get started. Any questions you got, please put it in the chat. Oh man. The audio kind of mess up when I do it like this. Well, I'll play the song later. Uh oh. We are working, right? Oh, okay, there you go. Boom. Bam. 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 Like that there. So was it somebody had asked, was I gonna take any questions about the Supreme Grand Council discussion interview build I did with the Harker? Hopefully that person or those people come on through. Uh, and you can email. Let me check my email. I don't think they emailed me. I don't think they sent the email through. iamhhtemple@gmail.com. Oh, my fault. My apologies. Somebody did send the email through. I don't want to necessarily read it because I didn't ask them for permission. Keep so calm. Uh, okay. Hmm. Yeah. Oh man, the email is powerful. I wish I could read it. I didn't check beforehand, so I won't. But I will speak to the topics that is brought up. He's speaking about uh, in regards to what some individuals, in particular, Rise of the Moor supporters, and some of the insults and things they say about me in the chat, and speaking about patience. And I will say that it's definitely been a journey for me in terms of developing patience. This isn't something I was born with at all. I'm still a work in progress. Um, it, you know, yeah, a part of it does irritate me, but I also understand on a deeper level, on a bigger level, it's it's bigger than that. You know what I mean? These personal attacks, it's irrelevant in the larger aspect of things. So I do my best to focus on, all right, this video is on presenting information. Let me just present the information. Let me not get my ego, because then that's the ego. That's my pride wanting to shoot shots back and be petty back. And that ultimately doesn't help anybody. So I work on doing that, but it ain't easy. I appreciate the sentiments that he said in the video. I mean, in the email, and also um, spoke about Taj Tarik Bey, and I feel that I can say that this person expressed that he agrees with some of what Taj Tarik Bey teaches, but not every single thing Taj Tarik Bey teaches. Um, and as it relates to the video I did about Taj Tarik Bey, I think that is a point that some Moors are missing because they have their emotions too much involved. But some people, some Moors particularly, um, they have a difficult time accepting others who may have a different opinion than them or have a different perspective. Um, I am a person that I'm not going to agree with every single thing a person says. Um, and I also am not afraid to express that respectfully, and challenge people that I may agree with a lot of the time, or I may admire or respect. Um, and I think if you're being sincere, if you are after the truth, um, then you should be able to do that. Regardless of who we're speaking about, whether it be Taj Tariq Bey, Malcolm X, Asada Shakur, um, uh, whoever we're talking about. I mean, I don't want to get the name of names, but my point is, as it relates to Taj Tariq Bey, and especially Moors in this movement, man, we got to move away from this whole uh, worship kind of mentality of people that we look up to, and to the point where if you express any sort of criticism, it's taken as an attack, or it's taken as, uh, people, Rami's a traitor because I expressed my perspective and disagree with some of the things Taj Tariq Bey was expressing, or have a different opinion or a different perspective than Taj Tariq Bey. If I'm not falling in line and believing everything that Taj says and supporting everything that Taj says 100%, then somehow I'm a traitor. And that mentality is like childish and kind of, it's like irresponsible. You know what I mean? So we got to move away from that. Oh, Rami, what is he? That Martinelli. You don't know nothing about that Martinelli's. You don't know nothing about that Martinelli's. You don't know nothing about that Martinelli's, huh? Was there any questions though? Oh, shoot. My fault. Um, See, man, I be trying to let you live, dog. Brother, just go to it. Oh, that's the other person. What was Prophet Noah Ali's process to have one proclaim nationality? Is that process practiced today? Why so much confusion on this important aspect? Great questions. Come on, dog. Um, the source of the confusion and why there isn't a clear answer, in particular about how to properly proclaim the process to proclaim one's nationality. Based on my research and my studying, it's because we don't have. Come on now, you get on my nerves. Because we don't have a Supreme Grand Council. Because there's not an active and functioning Supreme Grand Council, that would be the committee, the body of Moors within the Moor Science Temple of America, within the organization, that has the authority to declare and make it clear this is the process. This is how we're going to go about things as an organization. The Supreme Grand Council has that power and that duty. And because we do not have an active and functioning Supreme Grand Council, we lack clarity on subjects and topics exactly like this. How do you proclaim and what's the actual process? Or how do you purchase property the Moorish American? See, I'm about to get you. Sorry. The Moorish American way. You know what I mean? Um, uh, dealing with taxes, um, dealing with, you know, I would even say dealing with traveling, quote unquote traveling or, driving, for those that don't understand that lingo. What is the best way for Moorish Americans to go about that so that we won't get into any issues? The Supreme Grand Council would be the committee, the group of Moorish Americans that would be able to really clarify that issue for everyone across the board. That's why the Supreme Grand Council is so important, um, and why I've been focusing on it the past few years now. Man is the breath made flesh, so truth and falsehood are conjoined in him. All right. The truth, brother, just go to a temple near you. But if there's no temple near you, I have meetings you can attend on the internet. And see, I appreciate that, the truth, but to add on to that, it should be clear without someone having to go directly to a temple. You know what I mean? It should be, even if it's not um, every single detail, you know, laid out for you before you join a temple. There should there should be. I feel this is my opinion now. I feel there should be some basic outline, some basic information that Moorish Americans can provide um, people that identify as black or people that still think we're African American. Some sort of pamphlet, a flyer, you know what I mean? Something that you could say, this is what you need, and these are the steps right here. One, two, three, four, boom. This is, whatever that process is. I'm not exactly sure what the process is, but I feel like there should be something available that people can see for themselves without having to go to a temple. Um, and I also think because of our experience with religion and in particular with the church and some of the issues that go on with the church and Christianity, I feel like we now more than ever we have to be transparent and we have to be clear and upfront about what this is. Otherwise, it can appear, or it can give off the perception of being just another type of church organization, just with a different spin on it. Not that it is, not that I believe that, but from my experience, that's what many people see this organization as and see Moorish Americans. Many people from the outside looking in They think it's a belief system. And anyways, that's why I think we need to be transparent and clear about it. Why you got a picture of you and Taj on the cover so you can get views using the elder? Shaking my head, you should be ashamed. Well, I put the picture of Taj and I on the cover so that I could be upfront and transparent. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. So I could be transparent and show and demonstrate and not just talk it, but walk it and show people, yes, I had a lecture event that I did with Taj Tarik Bey 2013. Okay, 2013. I believe it's 2013. 2013, 2014. Let's say that. About 7 years ago. I admire and respect the work and the effort that Taj Tarik Bey has done. And with that being said, and with that acknowledged, I can still, with respect and love, ask Taj Tarik Bey to provide evidence for something that he declares is a fact. For example, him declaring that there are plants in the Rise of the Moors militia organization. He said that for a fact, there are plants within that group. Well, if he says for a fact that there are plants within that group, then he should be able to provide evidence. Please don't say that I'm attacking Taj because I'm asking, do you have the evidence to support your claim? That's not an attack. That's just being fair. He said for a fact that it was a false flag operation. Well, where's the evidence, the proof that it's a fact? Surely even Taj would admit, based on what I learned from Taj, he would admit to not just believe what he says, to ask for the information for yourself. I'm sure you would agree with that, right? I don't think you are trying to say Taj wants people to just believe what he says, right? So you don't get mad at me just because I am sticking to the principle. I'm not worshiping Taj. Taj Tarik Bey is not Prophet Noble Drew Ali. With all due respect to the elder. That's not an attack, that's the facts. Oh man, praise Allah. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Mm, I see the jewels being dropped. Perfected man. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Beware Amir Guy L. The plants was the two that got kidnapped first from the rise of the Moors. So now beware Amir Guy L is claiming that now you know who the plants are. Okay. Taj said he knew for a fact. Now you are saying that you know, right? Do you have the evidence? Whether it's you or Taj or uh, the brothers in Canada, whoever, if you're claiming to know for a fact that these two people or whoever are plants, can you provide me the evidence so I can see, so I can make sure I inform the rest of the people? I think that's something important, right? Unless you're trying to keep it a secret. Beware Amir Gael. Is that what you're trying to do? You're trying to keep a secret who the plants are within the Rise of the Moors group? Let me know. I'm here. Any other questions? Was I unclear about something? Does it seem unfair? Does it seem like I'm attacking Taj? If it seems like I'm attacking, let me know what I said or what I'm doing that seems like an attack on Taj Tariq Bey so we can clarify. I'm here. So you make the claim that you know that they're plants, and then when I ask you for the information, the evidence, the proof of that, you say do some research. Come on, family. You got to know it doesn't work like that, right? You got to know it doesn't work like that. That's like, let me give you, it's like a Moorish brother going to a black power group and saying, "Hey, you know we Moors, right?" And they say, "Well, how do you know that? You got some proof?" And then you tell them, "Nah, just do some research." Come on, family. We can't do that. I didn't say. Do you have any evidence using him for views? I don't care about the views. Maybe you didn't realize that. I hear some people making chirps, and I don't know if you understand. I don't really care about the views. Sorry. Um, was there any other questions though? I'm still waiting on the evidence. Beware Amir Gael said the plants was the two that first got kidnapped. I just want some. I just want some. I just want some evidence of that. Somebody, anybody. Any other questions? I'm here. The Supreme Grand Council. Any questions about that discussion? Did you see it? Any questions about um, the video I did about Taj Tarik Bey? Any questions? Any questions about uh, my allegiance? Rami's a traitor. Boy, I tell you what. But any questions, man? I'm here for a little bit, man. I got a little bit of time, man. This Martinelli is hitting. It's quite nice, sparkling cider, Northwest blend from U.S. grown fresh apples since 1868. Dang, they've been doing their thing. So, do the council exist or not, bro? Supreme L. Um, based on the evidence, based on the evidence, not my opinion now. Based on the evidence and the facts, we do not have the Moor Science Temple of America does not have a functioning, active, lawfully appointed Supreme Grand Council up and running. Based on all the evidence I've seen up until this point in 2021, I've been researching this since 2015, 2016, let's call it 5 years. So not at this time. Piece of Taharka. Brought more evidence in 1 hour than anyone has brought in 5 years. Tell them to bring the facts next to the little I showed so far. And it must be established. Period. With that exclamation. And established from the profit model. I think that's the key. Let me speak on that. Yeah, let me make sure I make my point on that. Um, I don't follow Taj Tarik Bey. I don't follow Jamal and the Rise of the Moors militia group. I don't follow Cujo. Respected Taharka. I don't follow Taharka or Asir or Red Pill, Blue Pill or Aleem or uh, um, you name whatever brother and sister. Much love to any and all of the Moorish teachers out there and scholars and researchers and all of that. I don't follow any of them. I follow Noble Jew Ali. Why? because he's the true and divine prophet. And any Moorish American, any true Moor, should not have a problem following Noble Drew Ali. And also, let me say for the record, put this on the record. We gotta dead all of the slander about quote unquote temple Moors. Excuse me, because Noble Drew Ali created the temple. So any sort of slander towards people that are working with or inside the temple, now you slandering the work of Noble Drew Ali. You trying to demean and disrespect the work of Noble Drew Ali. Noble Drew Ali was a quote unquote temple Moor. So we gotta watch what we saying, man. We gotta put some respect. Put some respect on it. You know what I mean? Can we put a little respect on it? Put a little respect on it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Drew Ali was temple Moor. You feel me? Gotta put a little respect on the name, man. Oh, yeah, yeah. I don't see any other questions. I'm here. I'm here now. You know, it's interesting. Certain individuals. You know, name no names. Certain individuals like to say a lot of things in the comment sections and things. But when I have a chance to express myself and I'm here available to take on any questions, usually those people get a little bit silent, man. Peace, family, peace. And thank you again. Appreciate the platform. Definitely got to build and continue to build because it's very important. And I think many people are recognizing the fact that it's some work we got to do, and that's all right. You know what I mean? We're not perfect. We're not perfect. We striving to be the best Moorish Americans possible, the best Muslims possible. You know what I mean? So it take a little work. Well, Muslim if you choose to be, if you choose to identify, because that's something that's I want to clarify. Well, that's it's gonna take more than just this video, but us being Moorish American, that being our nationality, that's related to our identity and our heritage and such. Now, what you identify on a religious level or spiritual, or your religious denomination, I believe that's how you say it. How you identify in that sense, that's your individual choice. So if you don't want to if you don't want to live by, the Muslim religion and the Muslim way of life, can't nobody force you to. You know what I mean? But it's a bit difficult to understand because we talking about Prophet Noble Drew Ali and you hear Islam and Allah. So I get how it can be a little confusing. But real quick, in the Quran, it just hit me. One example that I have of that is in the in the duty of a husband chapter in the Quran. The first line it says, "Take unto thyself a wife and obey the ordinance of Allah." But then it has the semicolon and it says, "Take unto thyself a wife and become a faithful member of society." And it's almost the same sentence, but the end of that changes a little bit. And I feel like this is my opinion, but I feel like that was um, just a glimpse or a peek in to the understanding that you can be Moorish American, but you don't necessarily have to identify with the Muslim religion, and you can still study this, and this can still be applicable because you don't have to go by obey the ordinance of Allah. You can take unto thyself a wife and become a faithful member of society. Yeah, I mean, but that's just my take on it. And also, the Noble Drew Ali teaches that he says that the Christian religion is all right for those that choose it, and that in America, the door to religious freedom swings open to all. And that's that's a privilege of being an American citizen, is that you have the freedom of religion. You have the freedom to pursue different religions and find your own way. You're not forced um, to abide by a certain religion as it is in certain countries. Mm, uh, uh, uh. Papa Noble Jolie gave everything to save a nation. He also told us to save ourselves. Did you save yourself yet? Are you still operating in the contracts of the United States service? Um, gave everything to save the nation, and he told us to save ourselves. I hear people, I hear people echo that statement, but I hear people repeat it in the sense of Noble Drew Ali gave all of us individually everything it takes to save a nation. So take it and save yourself as an individual. And I don't believe that's what Noble Drew Ali was saying. I think he was saying save yourself as a collective nation. And so it takes us as a collective nation to save ourselves as a nation, not as individual. Um, and I think Malcolm understood that as well, or El Haj Malik El Shabazz, which is why in one of those interviews, an interview clip, and he's speaking about his name, and specifically about his Muslim name, and he was saying that that name is individual, for him, and he's recognized over here, and he gets treated a certain way. But until everybody, all of our people are treated with the same kind of respect, it doesn't matter how he's being treated. I'm paraphrasing, but basically he was expressing that it's not just about the individual and people showing me respect and treating me properly as a man, but it's about us as a collective. And until we as a collective are being treated properly, then it doesn't really matter on if the individual is saved or if the individual is prospering in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? I think that's, at least for me, that's where I'm working to shift my mentality. You know what I mean? And not be concerned with just me and my family. You know what I mean? Because it's much bigger than that. That's a great question, Jermaine. What made you team up with Taharka? That's a great question, man. What made you team up with Taharka? Thank you for that, Jermaine. I think it's interesting how people try to frame things. Team up with Taharka. One, it's not some team up thing. It's not are you down with Taj Tarik Bey? Or you down with Taharka? Which side you down with, Rami? Yeah. You guys we gotta chill, man. Like for real. 'Cause it's silly. But being serious, I'm willing to have a discussion with whoever. You know what I mean? I'm willing to have a discussion with whoever, especially as it relates to the Supreme Grand Council. Why? Because it involves everyone. It's not some group, some little clique thing. It's not gonna, it can't be solved just working within some small little clique or some small group or who or just the people I agree with only. That's not how this works. That's not how governance works. That's not how diplomacy works. That's not how we gonna work as a community and a society if we can't have discussions and communicate and get better understanding. Um, so it's not about teaming up with Taharka. It's about us. It's about Moorish brothers working together, right? It's about Moorish brothers working together to follow the instructions of Noble Drew Ali. So I would say, Jermaine, are you down with that? If you down with that, then I'm down. Let's build. I'm down with anybody that's down to follow what Noble Drew Ali is teaching. So if you're saying I'm um not necessarily just you, Jermaine, but anybody out there, if you're saying I'm teaming up with anybody, if you're trying to frame it like that, well then say, well, he's teaming up with Noble Drew Ali. That's who he riding with. You feel me? Sevens up. I follow the prophet. Hey, the truth. Hey, the truth. Speaking the truth, right there. Mm. Man, I appreciate some of the sentiments, man. I appreciate some of the sentiments. Uh, Justice Lord Amin Moor Alim El Bey Ali. My goodness. You still waiting for a Supreme Grand Council. Where's your mindset when you enforce the treaty and the Constitution? You are the Supreme Grand Council when you enforce the treaty and the Constitution. I appreciate that perspective. That's incorrect. Yeah, I mean, I'm and I and I say this with respect also, just on the side, not even just to you, but just us in general. We have to work on not taking offense if someone says a statement that you said or a claim that you made is incorrect. Take it off of yourself personally. You know what I mean? Unless it's your opinion, you know what I mean, then it is yours. But if it's a claim like you are the Supreme Grand Council when you enforce the treaty and the Constitution, that's a claim that was put on the table. That claim is incorrect, regardless of who said it. It's not important about who put the claim on the table, but that claim itself is incorrect. No individual is the Supreme Grand Council by enforcing the treaty and the Constitution. That's completely incorrect. Now, the Supreme Grand Council, it has a structure and an order that was already established by Noble Drew Ali. It's not anything I'm creating. And to your point about me waiting for a Supreme Grand Council, I'm actually not waiting. That's what the whole discussion with Taharka was about. That's the progress. It went from me asking about the Supreme Grand Council and having very limited knowledge and understanding to now having a much better understanding and working with other Moorish Americans, other people that's been in this movement to get clarity on this issue. So it's not me waiting at all, with all due respect. But appreciate your perspective. If this is truly government, are you down to make amendments to the founding fathers' doctrine, or is it flawless without error? Good guy. If this is truly government, are you down to make amendments to the founding fathers' doctrine? Um, I don't know. I don't know exactly what you mean. If this is truly government, what you mean by this is truly government? Are you talking about the Moor Science Temple of America or the United States of America? Are you down to make amendments to the founding fathers' doctrine? See, the founding fathers makes me think you're speaking about the United States of America. Um, so, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, if that is what you're talking about with the United States of America and that Constitution, I'm not well enough studied to truly understand if there's any changes that any amendments that need to be made to the founding fathers' doctrine. I will need to study that more indefinitely. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm focused on getting them, helping to get the Moore Science Temple of America, that organization back right. Uh, oh, the Moore Science Temple of America. And so here's the thing. I'll express this. From my understanding, I believe that it's an organization that has governance to it. It has a government, if you will, within the organization. But from my understanding, I believe, at least from my I could be incorrect. I still need to get more information, but I believe that the organization itself really is helping to self-organize us as a people, as a community, so that we can participate in the United States of America and the American Constitution and that government and that um, nation and all of its civic and civil affairs. And I feel that the Moor Science Temple of America helps us understand how government works and how governing works so that we can better understand how the United States of America and that government and just governments in general work. Um, so I don't know if that answered your question, but yeah. Jaden Shields, I appreciate that. Peace, appreciation. I just started my journey in learning about Moorish history. If you have any books or other resources that help further my journey in finding self, we just gonna go right to what's near me. Got still, and partly I do need to clean up. We teaching right now. Never mind that. Never mind that. First, I would say, Jaden Shields, please start with Noble Jarley. Look up and research any information. Look up Moorish literature. I'm gonna drop that link in there. And uh, respected Taharka for having the Moorish Guide newspapers, because from reading those, the copies of the actual newspapers from way back in 1928, 1929, I could see that what is known in that link that I just put in there as Moorish literature, a lot of those were articles in the actual Moorish Guide newspaper. But anyways, that link is to what I refer to. You may hear me refer to in some videos as Moorish literature, or articles from the Moorish Guide. That has a lot of information from Noble Ali and people that were close and around him at the time. A lot of information that is, I don't say better. It's different. It's different than the Quran Circle Seven. It's not necessarily just heavily on the spirituality aspect or the religious aspect, and it's more tangible things that you can research um, and reference from and go look and dig deeper into the information. So I would say start with any and any and all information that you can find from Noble Drew Ali. I have the story of the Moors in Spain, Stanley Lane Poole. Moor Spain by Richard Fletcher. The 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro with Complete Proof by J.A. Rogers. I would say just get a bunch of the books that J.A. Rogers has. Um, these two, the Moriscos in Spain. Moriscos was a term that was used for Moors who converted to Christ. It was a term used for Moors who converted to Christianity in order to stay in southern Europe after the Christians took back over from Al Andalusia. And then the Golden Age of the Moor by Ivan van Sertima. It's a lot of good information in there. And I have this book, The Islamic History, The Rise and Fall of Muslims, by Saeed Akbar. I gotta find out how to pronounce it, but Akbarabadi, 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 Saeed Akbarabadi. There we go. Saeed Akbarabadi, The Rise and Fall of Muslims. But really, I would say to study the history of the rise and fall of Muslims in general, in particular the Golden Age of Islam, because that's dealing with Moorish history as well, even though you'll see it referenced as Muslims or Arabs. But understand that Moors were also referred to as Saracens, as Arabs, as North Africans, as Berbers, as Moroccans, as Moriscos, as Moro, Moro. Um, I think that's all of it. Amazigh, that's the indigenous name for Berber. AMAZ. Let me look it up. Yeah, I almost had it. AMAZIGH. Excuse me. That is the indigenous name for Berber, um, and it is said to mean free men or free human. Just to put that out there. Just to put that out there, man. Oh yeah. This will be live, man. Yeah, this you can run this back later. And I appreciate the question. Did I miss any of the other questions? Truth, I follow the prophet. Down with that, man. Down with that. No man can rise above the condition of his people. Hey, man. Uplift fallen humanity. That's the mission. That's the mission we on. I missed that one, but I caught you. I seen you. I seen you. Do I have him? Yeah, I got him here too. I got him here too. Circle seven Quran, not not uh or some people say circle seven Quran. I don't really like saying Quran. It sound. But anyways, uh this person Noble Nuff Atum says circle seven Quran, not the Quran. This was brought to us by Prophet Muhammad, or brought through or by way of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Well, before I get into the Quran, in the Quran, Circle 7 itself, Noble Jarli, well, in the very last chapter, the end of times and the fulfilling of prophecies, I get that right? The end of time and the fulfilling of prophecies. In that chapter, in the very last chapter of the Circle 7 Quran, on the very last line of the Circle 7 Quran, it has a very important message for Moorish Americans, in particular Moors such as Noble Nuth Atum Shavek El. Circle 7 Quran, not Quran. Just so that we're clear, okay? Just so we're clear. Yes, Moorish Americans, we do study from the Circle 7 Quran, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, right? Well, on the very last line of this chapter, it says, we honor all the true and divine prophets. We honor all the true and divine prophets, which includes Jesus, peace be upon him, also known as Isa. So, Moorish Americans, true Moors, if you hear them down speaking down about Jesus or about the Bible, it's hey man, you got to ease up on that because we honor true and divine prophets. Jesus is a prophet. Some of his teachings and words are indeed in the Bible, so we got to have respect. Also, with Prophet Muhammad, a true and divine prophet. Oh, a true and divine prophet. We got to have respect for Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him. And when we look into this Quran, this holy Quran, boy, I tell you, I just opened the book. I just opened the book. Praise Allah. You see it. This is live. Surah 14, Ibrahim or Abraham. We sent not a messenger except to teach in the language of his own people in order to make things clear to them. Come on now. Come on now. But see, we wouldn't know that if we don't study. That's why we got to honor all the true and divine prophets. You feel me? I hope you feel me out there. I hope you feel me, man. This book is it's a deep book, man. You just, you know what I mean? You open it up and you never know what you find, man. Let me see if I can find one more. Mm, yeah, we'll put this on the record, especially for the brothers that may be watching. Say to the believing men that they should lower their gaze and guard their modesty. that will make for greater purity for them. And Allah is well acquainted with all that they do. Mm, lower that gaze, fella. I see you. I know. She looking bad in the mind. Lower the gaze. Yeah, I mean, you ain't gotta stare. You ain't gotta stare. Jokes aside, though, all jokes aside, I do feel humbly you really should study, especially Moors out there. Study the Quran. You know what I mean? Study the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. Study the life. I got actually the book of life of the Prophet Muhammad, but study about his life. Understand what kind of a man he was really about, and what kind of man he really was, and what he really stood for, what he was really about. Don't just believe what you're told because man knows not by being told. Come on, man. Come on now. It's love. It's love. It's love. Yeah, yeah. Come on now. We're going to bring it on home. We're going to bring it on back. See, because he's talking about lowering the gaze in the Quran, Prophet Muhammad. But let's, bring it to Prophet Noble Ali. Let's see what he was talking about. Because was he talking about, for young men, what we should be doing? Did he give us some guidance for what we should be doing? Holy instructions and warnings for all young men. Wow. Beware, young men, beware of the allurements of wantonness, and let not the harlot tempt thee to excess in her delights. The madness of desire shall defeat its own pursuits from the blindness of his rage. Thou shalt rush upon destruction. To get that to you in the regular language, be careful of them ones that you see on the ground. You feel me? You feel me? Be careful of them ones in them tights that, you know what I mean? The short shorts. You feel me? You know the ones I'm talking about. You know the Megan Thee Stallion ones. You know them Cardi B, them City Girl. Yeah, you know. Be careful because the madness of desire, meaning you're gonna be fiending so bad that you gonna rush upon this, you're gonna get into the mix of something that you're not even supposed to be mixed into. Be careful. Let me keep going. It says, therefore, give not up thy heart to her sweet enticements, neither suffer thy soul to be enslaved by her enchanting delusions. Where's the one line that I'm trying to find? Because it's a powerful line. It said, about moving your feet. Where's the one with the feet? Because it was telling, man, it said just turn your feet. See, I done missed it now. One second. Let me see if I find it. But basically, it's teaching us, hey man, go the other way. Go the other way. When you come upon somebody that's like that, even though she is amazing, she just, oh my goodness, she looked like she could be that one. Just go the other way. You don't even want to suffer through that. Just go the other way. But I want to get the line correctly, so I'm not just talking. One second. Especially when I'm talking about the Quran, I like to quote it. I like to be precise. Ah, there you go. Ah, duty of a husband. There you go. 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 It says, if much of her time is destroyed in dress and adornment, if she too caught up in the gram and how she looking, right? If she is enamored with her own beauty, she got a whole bunch of selfies. Oh, from every angle. She just, oh, I look cute. I look bad. I am bad. And what's what? All of them, you know the saying. You feel what I'm saying, right? And delighted with her own praise. If she laugheth much and she talking all, she just super loud, she just laughing all super loud. And if her foot abideth not in her father's house, and her eyes with boldness rove on the faces of men, hmm? Though her beauty were as the sun in the firmament of heaven, turn thy face from her charms, turn thy feet from her paths, and suffer not thy soul to be ensnared by the allurements of imagination. Basically, I know it looked good, fella. I know, fella. It looked, yes, I get you. Go the other way. You don't even want to do it. Don't do it. Reconsider. Read some litter. Sure on the subject. Are you sure? Come on. You don't, y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about that, man. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all don't know nothing about no AT aliens. Y'all don't know nothing about that. All right, man. I didn't got into the mix of teaching from the Quran. Um, uh, where am I? I'm sorry, I ain't got caught up. Was there any other questions? Um, I don't even know how did I get into the point of that. Oh, it was about reading the Quran. My point being, that's why we need to study the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, the Psalms of David, the literature from man, uh, from all the different prophets. I was trying to get all the names, I forgot it all. But study the Quran, and when you study these different books and you study the teachings from true and divine prophets, you'll start to see that a lot of our teachings line up. And a lot of the things and the principles that were taught in the Quran Circle 7, they're expanded on, and there's further detail and further understanding in other books, which is why we have to honor all true and divine prophets. And to honor the true and divine prophets, well, you got to know about them. You got to study and learn about who they were, what they represented, what they stood for, what books they and information they brought. Otherwise, you can't properly honor a true and divine prophet. Just the same as you can't properly honor Noble Drew Ali unless you study what he was talking about and you studied his actions and what principles he stood for. Feel me? Brought it back around. I brought him back around. Oh man, Jermaine. So are you saying that Taj Tarik Bey is not following the prophet? Um, I'm sorry, that cracks me up. I'm gonna have to go in a little bit, but it, a lot of times when people say, "So are you saying?" and then they'll proceed with something, the so are you saying is really I'm gonna interpret what you just said and I'm gonna give you what I think you said and question you on that. You know what I mean? Because I didn't say that Taj Tariq Bey is not following the prophet at all. Just to be clear. Or at least I don't believe I did. I don't think I made that claim. Yeah. I'm almost positive I didn't make that claim. That's a heavy claim to make. What I will say though, to answer the question, um, I think that some of the things that Taj teaches and some of the actions that Taj has taken and takes is not in line with what Noble Drew Ali was teaching and what Noble Drew Ali was doing. Yeah, I'll say that. I don't want to say Taj Tariq Bey is not following Noble Drew Ali at all. You know what I mean? I don't want to make that definitive of a claim or a statement because I don't think that's fair. But I do believe, I do feel based on the research and his own statements and the actions and just what can be seen and the proof is that some of the things he teaches is not in line. Um, you know, and that's okay. You know what I mean? We all make mistakes. That's at the beginning of this. I hope I said it, but let me reiterate that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay that Taj Tariq Bey is not perfect. If you support Taj, if you feel he drops, important information and he's doing his thing, like I used to stand on that. Still respected, much love and appreciation for the work that he's done. But I never was disillusioned to believe that Taj Tarik Bey is perfect or that Taj Tarik Bey doesn't make any mistakes. And I think it's an error for 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 anyone to think that about Taj Tarik Bey or any other Moorish teacher, any other person, period. You know what I mean? I just don't think that's not fair to the person. That's not fair to you and not fair to the person that you're expecting that from. Because, we're all working on ourselves. I respect I respect your yo. Yo. I say yo. I respect your perspective on that. That's funny. Sorry. All right, man. Let me finish answering these and get up out of here. Um yeah, oh man, yeah. And let me say that real quick. He said read from chapter 22. I don't want to get too deep into oh, you were saying boom, yeah. I don't want to get too deep into the Quran and get on the creed aspect of it or the religious aspect. But I will say that when I first read through the Quran Circle 7, it seemed like it was all he, it was um, heavily directed towards men, and I felt like it wasn't mentioning women pretty much at all in the book. But then I like one weekend I told myself I'm gonna sit down and literally go through the Quran and jot down every time she, her, a woman, any sort of feminine aspect is mentioned in the Quran in each chapter and count how many times. And when I did that, I'm not positive. I wish I would have wrote this down, but I'm I'm fairly certain that almost in every single chapter there was some reference towards a woman or a feminine aspect. Um, and I say all of that to say that I was speaking about instructions for young men and dealing with, tempting women and you know what I mean? But it also has clear instructions for young women in regards to men. And I think that's something that's often overlooked, and we need to further emphasize it. In particular, this one line that I want to highlight, especially if my when my daughter watches this. uh, we'll do two lines. Hear with caution their seducing words. And this is talking about when the eyes of men gaze on thee with delight. It's talking about men. Hear with caution their seducing words. Guard well thy heart, nor listen to their soft persuasions. This is the key. Remember, thou art made man's reasonable companion, not the slave of his passion. The end of thy being is not merely to gratify his loose desire, but to assist him in the toils of life, to soothe his heart with thy tenderness, to recompense his care with soft endearments. Basically, women are not here just to satisfy men our desires. You know what I mean? And any man is trying to push that sort of mentality or that sort of ideology, especially if they identifying as a Moorish American, they out of pocket. So to the women out there, especially the young women out there, understand that you don't got to be a slave to some man's desire, and that's not what you just put on earth here to do. Uh, that you're a reasonable companion. You know what I mean? Here to help through the toils of life. You know what I mean? But you ain't no, you know what I mean? It's none of that. But anyways, uh that was the Quran Circle 7. Um, any other questions before I get up out of here? Hmm. Hmm. Our people need practicality. I like that, Brother Bay. I respect Brother Taj, but he lost me long ago when he started talking about the astral. Our people need practicality. Practicality. I'll say that, and then I seen one other question, Jermaine. But about practicality, I agree 1,000%, and I feel humbly, you know, that is bringing it back to the Supreme Grand Council. That aspect of the organization is what helps manifest this in a more practical manner. It's what helps it's what helps more Americans apply the information in practical, everyday scenarios or situations. How to register to vote, how to get benefits if you're a veteran, the proper way to proclaim your nationality, all of these owning property, things like that. The day to day function that we really need to be ourselves, we need the practical aspect in this movement to be active and to be more emphasized. Um, and I appreciate Taj's information. And that was my point in asking him the question of, instead of being on YouTube for hours, why not go down to the courthouse or the courtroom and actually apply this information? Because he has been identifying himself and allowing other people to call him as a grand sheik, which is a leader. That's the title of a leader, the head of a temple. He's been identifying himself as a master teacher. And in the Quran, it talks about the teacher treads the way, right? Or the master treads the way. So people will know the person that is leading went that way, instead of just being a pointer and telling people where to go. So my question humbly to Taj was, instead of just talking about it, actually apply the information, make it practical, you know, because we now more than ever, it needs to be practical. You got to show and prove. You know what I mean? Show me the money, babe. Not the money, really, but show me it in action. You know what I mean? Show me what you're talking about is actually real and tangible for me to see, not just, somebody just talking a good game, on social media or on the internet, you know. And after all that, it's stop hating on Taj. It's not hate. He's one of the greatest to ever do that. Oh, Mars TV. Allah is the greatest. Islam. Come on, talk about it now. Talk about it. Talk about it. Allah is the greatest. Let's not get that twisted at all. You know what I mean? Let's get that correct. All the way correct. You know what I mean? Some people got different names for Allah. Whatever name you want to apply to our creator, we can roll with that. You know what I mean? But understand our creator is the greatest, is the best of the best. You know what I mean? The most wise. The most wise. As wise as Taj is. Allah is wise. You know what I mean? Come on now. We gotta be real now. Got to be real now. Mm. To your point, KB 420, I would have the utmost respect for Taj Tarik Bey if he went and got the rise of the Moors free. That's that's no slight, that's not no ill will. That is truly, I agree with that perspective 1,000%. Just on like a humble note, if I'm on the outside looking in, I done seen Taj, as he say, for decades now, teaching. This is the law and this, that, and the third. Now is the time, right? If not now, then when would be the time when Taj steps up? But what I learned, what I understand is that you can't put more responsibility, you can't put more on somebody's shoulders than they're willing to take on for themselves. And Taj Tariq Bey, even though he identifies as a grand sheik and as a master teacher, he also said that he's just a researcher of information, and whatever people do with it, They gotta to bear the responsibility themselves. He's not taking any responsibility for anybody. And if you're being true, if you're being honest, you have to take him for what he said and acknowledge that, but then um, adjust or move accordingly. Understand it, respect the Taj, but he is not a true grand sheik. He is not a true master teacher in that sense. He is just a person that is providing information on research. An elder, great information, but in terms of showing and proving, he's not willing to do that. And that's no disrespect. It's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Mm. And to your point, Mars TV, what Taj teaches, it doesn't comes from the prophet's teachings. And that's been my whole point. And as I close up, of getting back to, it's getting back to what Noble Drew Ali taught. Not, respect to Taj and respect to all of these different people. They not the prophet though. You know what I mean? I want to follow what Noble Drew Ali taught. Respect the Taj. He ain't Noble Drew Ali. He not the prophet. So I'm gonna follow Noble Drew Ali and his teachings. The people that want to follow Jamal and that Rising Moors organization, that militia group, cool. Do your thing. Just understand that's not Noble Drew Ali and the Moor Science Temple of America organization. That's something completely separate. They're doing their completely separate own thing. Whoever wants to do that, do your thing. I'm gonna follow Noble Drew Ali. Mm. I'm confused as what the multitude wants him to do. I can't speak for the multitude, so you know. Yeah. Uh, I'll end with that one. Yosef Quote El. He is a master teacher. If it wasn't for him, most of us would have never received civil law. Wait, is that what you're saying, or is that what you're? Yeah, he is a master. If it wasn't for him, most of us would have never received civil law. Well, if it wasn't for Noble Drew Ali, Taj Tarik Bey wouldn't be teaching any more science. So how about let's get back to the founder, the leader of the organization, someone who did step up and show and prove and demonstrated on a practical level the information. Didn't just point and tell people, y'all should do that, y'all should do that, but I'm not responsible. Noble Drew Ali is the founder and the leader of the Moor Science Temple of America, the Moorish Divine and National Movement. You feel me? I'm glad I seen that. I'm gonna close on that. I follow no man. I give honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Yosef Quote El. I follow no man. I give honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Well, you're not giving honors. You know what I mean? You identifying as a Moorish American, at least from your name title. You saying that you honor Noble Drew Ali, but that you don't follow any man. It's kind of conflicting statements and actions of what you're doing. And I completely understand it. I see people with that kind of mentality. That's precisely part of the problem with our people. We too prideful. We got too much of an ego. We're a little too arrogant. We can't humble ourselves and get in line. We don't know how to know our role and play our position. Everybody want to be the prophet, and everybody ain't the prophet. Baby, we got to understand that. Get in line, man. You know what I mean? Everybody can rap, but not everybody is Tupac. Everybody can sing, but not everybody is Michael Jackson. There's some people that are just special, man. And Noble Drew Ali, man. True and divine prophet. I know however you feel about it, but it is what it is. You feel me? Oh, Allah is the best of planners. Oh man. Oh man. Taj Tarik Bey is a good brother, but he is not smarter than the prophet. Islam. Amen. I mean, Ashe, all of that. That go for everybody, including me. I I do not know more than the prophet. But yeah. But let me get up out of here, man. I got to go. Oh man, much love. I appreciate the questions. If you have any more questions, you can email me iamhhtemple@gmail.com. Um, Study Noble Drew Ali. That's the prophet, the true and divine prophet. And yeah, yeah. Love. That's it. Almost forgot. Love instead of hate. No matter what we talking about, it's Moorish Americans, true Moors. We represent them five principles. We gotta represent that love, man. Love is the key. Love is the way. Much love to you. You have a great day. All right. Indeed. Study, study.